generally don't have any. While we're waiting, I'll just do a bit of sharing out, John.
Yes, we do a bit of sharing. Live. Share now. You all right, everybody? Hi, Susan. We are live. We have got guests. Hiya, Paul. We have got guests.
Hello, Susan.
The internet connection might be in and out, so please bear with us.
Yeah, well, don't worry about it. We'll just...
Yeah, we'll make whatever work.
Yeah.
Yep. And hi, Mickey. Hi, Carol.
I'll do a bit of sharing out and then... Yeah.
Hello.
Hiya. How you doing?
Hiya.
It's we will try our best. Honestly, we will.
Don't worry about it.
No problem.
Well, hello, everybody. Again.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, we've got a few in comments saying evening. Let us know in comments what you've been up to as well. If you've done anything paranormal this weekend, any dreams, stuff like that, just let us know. It's all good.
All right. Oh dear.
How about yourselves, Mickey and Carol? Have you had a good weekend?
It's been a busy week. Week for me. I've been getting carpets down in my new flat and moving furniture and stuff, so I've been busy.
Yeah.
And Dad's been helping me.
That's it. That's good.
Doing as I'm told, you know.
Yeah.
You know, what are you doing tomorrow, Dad? No, well, you're helping me with the carpet, what she said.
Yeah. It's taking me tomorrow as well to get to it.
I don't know. Well, she said one day, you might not have a wife, but you've got a daughter, do as you're told. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah. Well, when I came out of hospital, I was a bit all over the place, you know. And the bloody plaster kept coming off, you know. And it wouldn't stay on. I was going to get some of that gaffer tape and stick it on with that.
Actually, it was Gorilla. It was the Gorilla one, and it didn't stay on. And it was like, I'm going to use the Gorilla tape. I went, you're not. He went, don't tell me what I can and can't do. I went, look. I said, no, I'm telling you are not. I said, I am not having the nurse coming to me tomorrow having to go at me because you've got Gorilla bloody tape on. I said, to do as you're told.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Talking about being put in place by your kids, eh?
Yeah. I must admit, I need direct instruction sometimes. Well, pretty much.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. You know when you've been told, don't you?
Yeah, that's it.
You know when you've been told.
You could just imagine what the nurse would say the next day, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
What the hell is this going on? Sorry, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't stick to you. That.
Hi, Sharon.
Susan.
Hi, Paul.
Today's been a bit lucky for me, really. I'm lucky to be alive today, actually, if I'm going to be honest. I went out to go to the shop, as you normally do. I banged the front door to lock it, and them portico, them concrete porticos that are over here, the fishing thing fell down. Straight on my head, bump on my back. Yeah, lumps as big as a flask like that in the backyard. Hit me back, smacked me forward, hit me bloody front head on the door. Bits all over the place. Great lumps of concrete like that.
Yeah.
As big as as long as your arm and as thick as your arm.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to be here, actually.
Yeah. I hope you're all right.
You see while you're swinging that arm?
I'm saying nothing. I'm saying now. So the inspector came round and he said, Yeah.
Yeah. Bummy night. I've got one of those over my front door.
So yeah, I'm good. I'm all right. You know, it was one of them bloody things. It's, you know, you don't expect that to happen. I went and sat down and got myself together again. You know.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, but I am looking to be here. If that had hit my head, I'd have been dead.
Yeah,
You know?
you don't want
So,
that. No,
good.
it's too much.
Susan wants to know if
No, I don't. Not,
No, so, no.
yeah. They knocked some sense out of me, I think, but we won't talk about that either. No. But, well, no, today's been, yeah, just been one of them bloody weeks, isn't it? You know. But
That's it.
anyway, enough said.
That's terrible.
So,
Yeah, good. I'm glad you're all right. Anyway,
yeah, me too.
yeah. It's a bonus, isn't it? It's a bonus.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, in comments if you've been up to anything paranormal or any kind of spiritual encounters, that kind of thing, just let us know in comments. It's always good.
Definitely.
Yeah, I've witnessed something like that. I were helping my dad convert loft, and he put an hatch in, and the hinge for the trap door, it had a really strong spring. I saw that release. It sent the arm. He were hanging over the arm, and it just went flying up.
Oh.
And it went into the roof and totally missed my dad. And I'm like, Dad, you were directly over it. It can't miss you. And he goes,
yeah,
I know. I have something looking over me. He goes, I've been saved so many times. And he goes, and you've just witnessed one. And I'm like, I don't know.
Me too. I'm a walking miracle. I am a walking miracle.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but I am.
Yeah, I must. I think I've escaped more than luck before. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
So yeah,
I can agree with that. So.
I'm just going to say I believe in it because there's a few times where I've done a load of dumb stuff, and thankfully I've been all right. So I'm not going to push it too much.
You're not the only one. I've done a load of dumb stuff and all.
Yeah, there's a few I can't talk about. To be fair.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, but in the dumb stuff, the stuff that makes you learn and you learn your lessons with anyway.
Yeah.
Don't
do that again. Yeah.
What it's about.
Yeah, definitely.
That's how life is. Your whole life is a lesson. If you learn it or not, it's up to you, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I can agree with that.
Yeah, because most of it, majority of it, I don't regret it. It's just I think that were dumb. But you're right. Yeah. I learned. Yeah. Sharon Williams, another Williams. There you go. So I've had the privilege of watching Carol and Mickey work, and it's mind blowing. You can feel the atmosphere. So that's good. Just wondering, Mickey and Carol, do you ever get?
Yeah.
Do you ever get something? Have you ever had this happen where it's like you've known something between each other before you've talked about it? Like one's in one place, one's in other, and it's like, oh, wait up, I'll phone up. Do you know what? I was just thinking about that. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Strange,
we do.
We
do all the time.
I've got a friend named Reg, but I'm not going to talk about him because he's the kind of guy that he's mind blowing.
Mind blowing.
Absolutely. You say things. Reg said this, and I'll talk to Carol, and she said, Dad,
that's just
it's happening as we're talking now.
Yeah.
It's happening as we're talking, And some of the things he'll say, well, don't worry, I'm going to teach you a lesson. And then the next thing you know,
boom.
Dad, it's happened.
It's happened.
It's happened. I mean, he's 91, and what I know, you could put him back over and flip me stamp to what he knows.
I say he's an angel in disguise. I'm telling you, he's come from up there and he's come back down here to do work. I'm telling you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Telling you.
He's
Amazing.
worked all over the world. He worked for the Graves Commission, and he's interred thousands of graves and worked in jungles in Burma after the Second World War. And what he doesn't know isn't worth knowing. You know, he's wrote books and all kinds of things under pseudonyms as well. He's just been offered £50,000 to go to America to do a job, and he's turned it down. You know, he's one hell of a guy.
Amazing.
And,
You know.
Amazing.
with that Graves Commission,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
Just because I don't know, does that mean they go around like qualifying what's where, that kind of thing?
Yeah. The
Oh,
Graves
right.
Commission, like they where there's a battlefield, after the battle's over, they'll go around and they are after. I mean, if you don't get me wrong, if you're a Muslim, if you're in Israel or whatever you are, you know, Jewish, whatever, they will intern you according to your faith, to your religion, how you. Because different graveyards have different, you know, and he's done all that. He sat out graveyards in Israel and all over the place. Absolutely brilliant. You know, and I remember him telling me a story about I don't know where it's been, some jungle. It could have been in Borneo or Burma or somewhere. And I said, well, "How did you do it?" He said, "Well, I sit up in my tent and I can feel them talking to me. You know, it probably means he can feel them." And he's a bit strange, his race. You know, "Oh no, I'm having none of that." And that's the kind of bloke he is. And he said, "I'll sit there in my tent and I want to be over there." And you walk over there, and do you know them people that are water diviners?
Oh yeah.
You know, the water. He uses a bit of hazel or willow when I dig there, and then you know, there's now just dig your toe, and there it is. There's a skull. You know, some of the things he
Yeah.
out of this world.
He said to me at Christmas time, well, before Christmas, one of my sons was trying for a baby for like 2 years, and they were going to the hospital. They were doing all this, and he sent a message and went, "Carol, can you tell your son Stork will deliver?" And my son come up just after Christmas, a couple of days after Christmas, because I've got quite a big family with my kids, so you know, they take it in turns on who's coming up. And the day he came up, we was outside just having a smoke. I was a ciggy and a cuppa, and he went, "Just to tell you, Mum, that she's pregnant." Boom.
Wow.
And like, you know, he just said to me, he says, "Can you just tell your son that the stork will be delivered?" And 2 weeks later, it was there. It was crazy. Completely mad.
That's amazing.
How the hell did he know? You know, how the hell did he know? And you know, my son is having a baby now. You know, and they've been trying for 2 years, and they were struggling, and he just went, yeah, mad, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, definitely. And hi, Geraldine. On that subject as well, with me and wife, when we decided to, we'll have a child, like 2.5 years. Anyway, we're in Malta, and I were going into St. John's Kirk Cathedral it's in Valencia, and the woman at the entrance, giving you a stamp and everything, she was just stamping everybody because there were quite a few people, and then she got to me, she grabbed my hand and went, "You're lucky. You're going to be lucky." And she stamped it, and then I went, "Oh, thank you." And I pulled away. I didn't know what she was on about. And as I went to walk away, she did it again. But I turned around and she was just stamping all day. I'm like, that's so weird. And then there were a day, and then that other day after, 2 days after, we went to a pagan temple where there was this like big fertility goddess. Yeah. We were joking. We just had his hands on it like this, and we found out when we got back. Oh, we've got a child coming, and if you count it back, it were in between them 2 days with church and pagan temple. But it's the woman at the entrance. She just grabbed my hand and went, "You're lucky. You're going to be lucky." I'm like,
Yeah.
"All right, yeah, thanks, but don't know in what way at all." Some might just go, "Oh, well, happy coincidence," but at the same time,
Yeah.
I don't do that. Yeah, I just like, I'll take that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think sometimes you can say, "Oh, it's a coincidence," but Reggie's just been so right on so many things with so many people.
No, that's it.
He's like, forget it.
He's mad.
Just forget it.
Yes.
I trust in what that bloke says. I trust completely, because he's just been so bang on and so he's helped us so much, hasn't he? He's done so much for my family, for my kids, and things like that. It's
the thing is, he says something, and you can sit and watch it come true.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's like being in a cinema and just getting your popcorn and just okay, then I'm just going to sit back and watch it unfold. And it really is like that as well. You just completely watch it unfold and just watch your jaws up and go, well, I never. Well, I do, but well, I never. That's the kind of thing. It's gobsmacking sometimes. It really is.
Yeah. Sharon's just put, "I don't believe in coincidence."
No,
I'll be honest with you, I'm not one for that either. I see it as other people see it sometimes. Some people, but and that is fair enough. But I've noticed a lot of things in the world. It usually takes a lot of effort for anything to happen. So somewhere it's been put into play somewhere. So I
agree.
I usually I just take it and think, right, fair enough.
Like me one day, I'd give my granddaughter my phone and she'd been playing games on it and whatever, but I had my Google account attached to my phone at that time. And she spent my last £40, literally I had nothing left in the bank whatsoever at all. So I was worried sick where I was going to get the money from. Going to work the following day, and I kid you not, I found in £1 coins and £2, £40, not a penny less, not a penny more. Just literally, I was picking them up, going along the street. They were just there. I walked up first, and I thought of something. Said, "Are you stupid?" So I went back and started picking under the pounds. I thought they were euros. And literally, when I got to work, I had £40. That was just insane.
Yeah. When you say it back, it just seems a bit.
I was pulling it out at work. And where did you get all that from?
Yeah.
I told you would not believe me. So I'm not going to bother.
I remember when I split up my ex and I was sorting all my money out and everything like that. So my ex used to keep all the money. Long story short, but my ex used to keep all the money. So then when I secretly got it all changed over and got my own bank account, I was waiting for some money going in the bank. Anyway, I was on the way to Sainsbury's and I just found this penny, but it was a plastic penny. And I just happened to go to the bank and there was £2.5 grand in my bank sack there. I was like, oh my God, there's like money sitting in my bank. And I've still got that plastic penny to this day. I kept it because that was like my first lot of money after I'd split up with my ex, and it was just like it was a sign. It was just a thing that was there, so I was like, well, I'm taking that and keeping that. That's the way it was.
Hi, Robert.
Yeah.
Robert says, "Hi, no fear. Trump is not here." We know.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, we've got something a lot worse. Hiya, Kelly. Yeah. I mean, I'd keep that plastic coin because I mean, if anything's good luck, it's going to be that.
That was my good luck that day. Sure.
Yeah.
I took my kids into town, gave them some money, and let them spend theirs, and then I got some bits and bobs and got loads of shopping and everything. It was the best day of my life, I think, for a long time. It was.
Yeah. One of the very early, because my mum and dad were both Romany. One of the first things that they taught me when I was a kid was always make sure you got a penny under your threshold, under the front door. I said, why that? You'll always have money to pay your bills and put something on your table. And I've never been short of money. But when there's a story, when they come to change the front door, they changed the threshold, didn't they? And my wages didn't go into the bank for a month. So I asked the bloke for a penny. He said, you I said, look, mate, I want the penny. All right. He said, it's somewhere. No. I said, I want my penny. Anyway, he struggled and he found it, and I put it back, and it's been the same ever since. And I've never been struggling for money. So always make sure you've got a penny under your threshold at the front door. So gypsy and folklore, there's many, many more.
I get Dad to do mine where it's under the door.
Always make sure you've got a cup in the sink. Always. Never wash it up. Always leave one in the sink. That way you'll always have to come back to wash it up. And you think about that. Because when I was in hospital, I should not have made it. I should not have come back. 9 weeks in a coma, two operations. I had E. coli and septicemia, malnutrition. Came out 5.5 stone. And that cup was still there. So the thing is, I mean, you can think what you like, but there are many other things where I shouldn't have come back, but I'm still here. Look at that bloody concrete this morning,
Yeah, definitely.
Look at that.
It's true. There were two things were sticking in my mind when it comes to that, and one of them's a relative of mine were really ill in hospital, and when he came round, there were an advert on. I forgot what Saint phrase were, but when he came round and he saw one at First Relatives, that was the first thing he said, and it was that advert. So for him, it was the advert that in somewhere in his head it had latched onto it. And then other one is there's a wine shop nearby, and we go every now and again. And this guy came in, and he always gets this one particular wine, even though he gets other stuff. And he'll go, why do you always, the guy what's selling it, he goes, why do you always get that? And he goes, because it's pretty much hard for me to drink. I'm like, right, but you get better stuff. Why do you get that? And he went, because when I had my motorbike crash, I thought of that flavour. And he goes, and I think it kept me hanging on. He thought of flavour of this wine, even though it's not his favourite, it's not really, he don't really like it that much. And he goes, so I buy it, and every now and again I'll just drink a bit to remind me of that taste. And I'm like, it's like anchoring on, isn't it? It's like, it's so I get that big cup, like you said. I get that, because it's like keeping it in there, definitely.
I think one of the things when I was in a coma, I mean, your mind's still active, and there's lots of things but one of the things that sticks in my mind was I used to see lots of windmills, not windmills, the kids things, windmills. And what kept coming to me was windy mill. And I'm not going to say too much about it. It's something between me and a friend, and a very close friend, actually. And it was her daughter in spirit that was with me, bringing windmills and things. And the other story, I don't know if I told you about this, was when I had my first operation to remove an obstacle from the bowel, but that's beside the point. And something went wrong, and I ended up going into a second operation that I was 9 weeks in a coma for. But when they took me down to the operating theatre, I was looking down on myself like that. I could see what was going on. And when they brought me around, I thought, and I told them, and this was like, how many weeks? 9 weeks later, and I said, I thought I would get a lot of that, don't worry, get a lot. I said, well, look, I said, there's a card up there, from the Queen's Silver Jubilee, 1977, I think it was. Another ink. So anyway, when they were cleaning it out after COVID, guess what they found? A postcard.
The card, yeah.
1977. And you know what they said? Oh, you must have been there before. You what? It's like, I've been there before.
Yeah.
How? Never. It would never happen. You know. So that's the thing that sticks in my mind. Especially the windmills because my friend's daughter, she never even touched the earth plane really. Well, she did, but she didn't. And I mean, we are very, very close friends. I'm very fond of her, and for her to be there, it was being windmilled, and I didn't connect the two until after I come round. There were just loads and loads of windmills, and it was the way she was saying it. It's a windmill. Yeah, it's a windmill. You know, and it's strange the things that you get while you're unconscious or dreaming or whatever, you know.
I used to dream I was flying all the time.
I used to do that as well, Carol, when I was younger. Yeah,
flying. I used to do that all the time.
Well, that's when you're astroplaning and you're coming back down to earth again.
Yeah. All the time.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I actually found one of my ex cheating that way.
Wow.
Do you know what, Carol? I get that.
Yeah, I did. I went down to where he lived. I remember flying and going to him.
If there's something going on, I'll find out at night when I go to sleep. Yeah.
I just happened to fly to his, and I saw him with her, and I was hovering over them for a while. Of course, he didn't see me clearly, but I was watching him. And then when I woke up, I confronted him about it, and he had been cheating.
Wow.
I ain't done that for a while, though. But
it's strange actually, because from being really young, I've always my messages come in dreams, so I've had a lot of dreams. Like last night was strange. I were in an hotel, going down an hotel corridor, and I was visiting each room. In each room, there was someone from a different part of world or time, and they were like answering questions for people what were going into these rooms. It was strange, but I don't even know what I got out of that. To be fair, I saw it, and then can't really. That's it. I saw that's what were happening. It was a strange dream.
Sorry, the Kelly, is it Druce? I can't say that properly. The out of body experience, how we know left foot operated on. That is a warning in spirit folklore. It's a warning to watch where you're going, watch where you're treading. If some things don't feel right, then generally don't go. Anything to do with your legs, a dream or something like that. You get just watch when you're treading on troubled ground. So that's why you would have had that. You might not be able to take it now, but try and think back. Gypsy folklore is a lot of there isn't anything I can't read. People think, it's just all about cards. I can read anything, really. Pictures, sky, card, I can read anything. Years ago, we were working for Lord Appleby. Well, we worked on his estate. We lived on the estate of Lord Appleby. My mum was talking to me, and he said, And he said, well, I can read anything. She said, can you read that lump of muck down there? He said, she will pick it up, put it in the hand, and you did. And she started spieling stuff out, But what she said was, give me a name before you put it in the hand. So you give her a name and put this in. He said, you got all that from that lump of muck? She'd not be silly. He said, I read the name. So it's making a link. If you can make a link with it, if you can make a link with anything, if you know what you're doing, he was an elite athlete.
After that.
See? Bingo! What did I say? What was I saying?
Yeah.
See? No, I don't know where you are. It's just gypsy folklore. The way I was brought up, you know, and the way I've shown her as well. Carol was very, very gifted. But my brother is too. He doesn't do what I see. There's two things in our family. We're all going back 500 years. We're all travelling gypsy tailors. Me, I can't sew a button on, but my mum was a master tailoress, and my auntie Iris, my mum's sister, it's still alive, was a master tailoress and still is. Although she's got Alzheimer's, she's still bloody spot on in the sewing. She used to work for the Cheshire Police, and before that, she used to help make garments for the Beatles because she worked in Malcolm Terrace Street, whatever it's called, Malcolm Street, something like that. And so when I was born, right, I become that side of the family. I went in the army because obviously I was in the kids' home with my brother. So we've had no family around us because my dad died. I didn't see my mum until 1970 after I came out of the kids' home. So I haven't had her influence around me. So when I went in the army, my brother went in the army as well. So we both went in the army. And when I came out, I was a bricklayer. And my brother, he was in the army. He came out and he's been a warehouseman and done all kinds of things. Yeah. Recently, within the last 5 or 10 years, I've been doing what I've been doing. He can't do what I do. But he's taken to sewing like a duck to water. What he can't do in a sewing machine isn't worth bothering with.
Wow.
He can sit there and make a jacket and understand the materials and this and that, and it's in his blood, isn't it? You know, it's in his blood, it's in his genes.
My kids are very gifted. My kids, all 4 of my kids have got the gift, most definitely. And the most, I think one of my boys was staying with me one day, and their dad died. And he'd gone down to see my sister because I lived above my sister at one stage because I used to live in Lincoln and then I moved to Scarborough and there was a flat above my sister, so I moved there. So my son had been downstairs to see my sister, and as he come up the way up to the stairs, he stopped and kind of shrieks. And he come running up the stairs and he come running in the door, slammed the door open. He was like, I was like, what's the matter? What's the matter? He went, I've just seen Dad. I've just seen Dad. I've just seen Dad. And he was like this. And he couldn't explain it, you know, but it was there. And then for a while, we heard these noises and he was trying to find something that would make the same noise. And he couldn't. And he just couldn't make the same noise that we heard. Well, anyway, he kind of left it for a few years. But this past year, he's really, really coming into his own. He's starting to learn more about it. My daughter, she finds it quite annoying because she goes, Mum, I ain't knowing everything. She says, I know what's going to go on. She says, why can't I not know what's going on? And I went, I'm sorry, my girl, but once you've turned on, you've turned on. You can't go backwards. You know, it's always there now. You know, you can't shut it off. She went, Mum, I hate it sometimes. You know, my other son saw an essence of his dad, you know, my other son like heard it, you know, so they've all got the gift. But, you know, it's been in their life forever and ever. Amen. They saw me do it as they were growing up. They saw the granddad doing it as they're growing up. Some of them kind of turned their back on it for a while and didn't want to know. But then, you know, they've come back round again. Yeah. And it's, you know, very much in their lives now. So it runs in the family, and even my daughter, my granddaughter and my grandkids, they all know about it and everything like that. And my granddaughter is very susceptible to things. She is, even now, you know, we're keeping her at a bit of a down low because obviously it's a bit too much for her at the minute, but, you know, she knows when there's spirit around and everything like that. So it runs completely down the line. It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. And on about that, Laura Grant, she's put a question up. Mickey, are you going to do any more teaching mediumship class? I sure enjoyed it.
Well, the thing is, if we can get enough people together, I don't want to be sitting there with just, one person or two people. If we can get enough together, then well, I don't mind because the way. Don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking any spiritualist church at all, because the way I was brought up was the old gypsy way. I'm not knocking any spiritualist church. I work in spirit. I'm actually in Willington Spiritualist Church in Durham on Tuesday. And I'm not knocking any churches, spiritual churches. They do what they do. I do what I do. But I don't teach their way. I teach my way.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it because it's what I know. People, don't get me wrong when I say this, but people go on about chakras and this and that and all the other,
That's me.
But I said, I was talking to my mum and I said, what's all this about chakras, Mum? And she said, it's a load of bullshit. And I said, why? She said, it's man-made. Bear me out. She said, if you want to talk to your dad, what do you do? I said, walk up to my dad and say, Dad, I want to talk to you. She said, well, why don't you do that with Jesus? So why do you need to do this and have a chakra and this, that, and the other, and all the other bullshit that goes with it? She said, if you want to talk to your dad in spirit, you sit down, you make a link with him, and bingo, on where you go.
But it's not all about that, though.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking anybody, but that's why I was brought up. But I can understand where the spiritualist churches are. Don't get me wrong, I can understand that with all the way they work. And I can understand that. I teach that way myself if I have to. But I think the way I was taught, it worked for me. And don't get me wrong when I say this, if I can help the FBI and the DEA solve crimes, then it can't be that bad, can it? It can't be that bad then, can it?
See, I've got the best of both worlds, really, because I've learned the spirituality. Because when I was in Lincoln, obviously my dad was in Scarborough, so I like the spiritual stuff I learned like when I was at home with the angel cards and the meditation, the chakras and all this, that and the other. But I also learned from Dad in the same breath as well, because I would ring Dad up, we'd talk, we'd do this, he'd get me doing certain things, tell me to do this. So as I was learning that way, I was learning the old way as well. So I've got the best of both worlds, because I've learned that, but then learned that. So I've kind of intermingled it my way, if that makes sense. A bit of both, the old and the new. So it kind of works with us too when we do.
And and I like that as well, actually, because it's like my granddad training. It's a totally different thing, but the people want to train a dog for ratting, for instance. And then there'd be my granddad, which would just get a puppy, stick it in a bin full of rats, and he goes, he'll get bit once, and then after that, he'll be a good ratter. He had his way of doing it, and the others had their way of doing it. But strangely enough, they used to come to my granddad for a good one. So I get what you're saying. There's different, there's different ways. And
I mean, I do
I like different.
I'm a psychic medium, and I'm an ordained psychic medium, and I follow Daddy. I called you Daddy. Dad's footsteps, I literally follow Dad's footsteps. But I also bring that other bit in there as well. I suppose it sometimes when I'm doing a reading, it sometimes works differently. You say it differently. Dad can sometimes it says it how it is, but then sometimes it needs to be worded differently, if that makes sense to you. So
it does, totally.
To break it down or whatever, I like
but we work well together. We work well together, me and Dad.
Absolutely. And there's people saying that as well, which is amazing.
I think, being very quickly, I think that when you're dealing with the law enforcement, that, as I was saying, well, they wouldn't say to me, hey, Mickey, can you pick us a few cards and, give us a romantic story?
Yeah.
When they were asking about the murder in Phoenix, they wanted to know. They didn't want any romance. They wanted the bullshit. They wanted bump. They wanted it on the nail. And that's when you've got to go below what spirit you get to in churches, and you need to dig deep and go into that. You need to go into the darkness below that where the proof is hidden. And I feel sometimes when I've done that and I've come out the other side, it's like part of you takes on that. You actually, it's like having a dream and going into it. You get that vision, but then you've got to go into that, and you can get the smells, you get the feeling, you can walk into a room and you know when there's been an argument.
Yeah.
You just know. And you don't need to be psychic to know that. When I'm going into a crime scene, even if it's in America and I'm sat here in the front room, I can go into that. I can actually, because I can remote view, I can go into that.
Yeah. And also, I get you don't need to be psychic to do that. I get what you're saying with that. I'm one of those. I don't know what I am, but I know one thing, and it served me well. Other than going back to what Carol said about sometimes it's annoying. I can pretty much tell what people are up to when they're around me. I know, but I also know when they're fed up. And if I don't watch myself, I'll get fed up with them. You know what I mean? Sometimes I've got to remind myself it. And so. Yeah, I mean, there's so many times it's hard I've lived, just.
It's like,
and sometimes everybody else can do it, but they don't. There's some people. He's not well. He's not well. Him. What do you mean? What makes you say that? Oh, and then you think, oh wait, you're not picking that up. And sometimes, when you get those murderers on TV, I'll straight away look. He did it. You can't say that. You haven't got no proof. He did it. A few weeks later, he did it. And I'm not going to say which one it was. But it was a famous one on TV, and he did something. And I went, him and her were on there. And they were going, oh, I hope they find her. And I'm like, nah, he's lying. He's lying all day. And everyone was like, shut up, you can't say that. I went, well, I'm telling you. And he did do it. It was him and her what had done it.
Yeah.
And that's all time for me. It just, and like you said, sometimes it's annoying.
Dad's taught me over the years. Since when I moved up to Scarborough is when I really started. Me and Dad used to work together all the time back then, but when I moved up here, which is like 10 years ago now, is when me and Dad really started to work together as such. When I was in Lincoln, I was like the trainee. I was using the cards but when I was using the cards and all that kind of stuff, it was also helping me get through a lot of trauma that I was going through. So they were guiding me, plus my dad was as well. So they gave me that peace, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Then when I moved up, when I moved up here, that's when it really, really started. And that's when I really concentrated, when I listened to my dad, I listened to Reg, and now my dad learned, I've learned how to remote view, and I've learned how to, be a psychic medium. It was there anyway, but I've tweaked it and learned so much more from Dad since I've been up here, than I did when I was in Lincoln as such. I was like a trainee when I was in Lincoln. The stuff that I was going through, the things that I was doing, it was just helping me just get through what I needed to get through. But then when I moved up here, that's when the real work started, and that's when I put the training stuff away, the cards, to this, that, and the other. Right, you either stay with the cards or you move up. And that's what Dad was saying. You either move up, which is what I decided to do. So when Dad decides that he doesn't want to no longer do anything, that's when I start to take over, because I've been to Dad when we've done the blessings and this, that, and the other. I've helped. We've done the paranormal and the psychic nights in one, and done all this. So he's taught me a lot as my dad. and my nanny,
Yeah.
working with my nanny. But I've also got 2 daughters in spirit who help me a lot as well. You know, my first daughter, I'm always working with my first daughter. When I get up there, she's going to be like, Mum, you're the newbie up here. I've been up here a long, long time. You know what I mean? She's going to boss me about. Yeah, you know, but without Dad, I don't know, you know, I probably wouldn't have got as far as I have because he pushes me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't want to, but he pushes me as well. So, you know, that's what he does.
See, when I was sort of, because I was in the kids' home at Barrow Hall, I call it the hell hole because that's what it was, you know, for the abuse was rampant. But anyway, that's another thing. I saw things I shouldn't see, and I told the warden about the place and got beaten severely and then locked in the room with all the ghosts and everything. It didn't change me. But the point I'm trying to make is I had my mum for the first 11 years of my life, and after that, I was on my own. Nobody gave me a leg up. You know, I found my own way. After what my mum taught me when I was a young boy working at the age of 3, sit behind that ruddy tree. It didn't come with a book or instruction, just sit behind the tree and do as you're told. Do you feel anything? Like what? What am I meant to feel? No, Mum, well, sit there till you do. You know? And then she said, do you feel anything? I could feel the tree moving on my back and I could hear the wind in the leaves. Wait, come in now and get your supper. You know? So but the point I'm trying to make is nobody gave me a leg up and I don't want my daughter going through what I went through. So when I can't do it anymore, she can do it. You know, that was the point of that. And she hasn't liked it. She hasn't liked it. She's been kicking and screaming, but she's done it. Yeah. She's done it.
Sometimes it's them.
Yeah, I'm sat like going, I really don't want to do it. I really don't want to do it. He's like, are you ready? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, sometimes, you know, pretty sulking. But I've done it. And then, you know, the first time I ever went live with Dad, I was shocking. I was terrible. I was absolutely petrified because I'm dyslexic as well. So sometimes when I want to say something, it doesn't come out. So I was absolutely terrified. But after the first couple of times I did it, I was like, yeah, come on, then I can do this. You know, this is, I'm ready for this now.
Yeah, and you do, and I think that's great, by the way, as well. It is good, and with what you said there about the darkness and sometimes where things are kept. I've never meant it. It's one of them things where, like, someone showed me cards and said, "Oh, try reading them," and I see these flowery ones and everything, and they're nice. They're nice, cool, But I've got these gothic ones, and I'm better working in a darker way. I can use them. But it's not because I'm a dark person. I don't think trying to kill things and so I'm not that person. And I thought to myself, why do I relate to darkness? And it took me a while, but I think I figured it out. It's like sometimes I like the darkness because there's a lot of nature's dark. Flowers are pretty, but the bird ripping open a bunny rabbit or something, that's a totally different thing. So I think I relate to the darker stuff because, like you said, sometimes that's where things are buried, truth, and things like that.
Well, let me tell you something now. Just let me tell you something. When I was a young boy, right, I was sat with my mum, and I was absolutely caning the devil about this, that, and today. Now, you hold your tongue, boy. And I thought, what are you on about, Mum? He's bad. Now, you listen to me. If I was getting beaten up down the road, that's not what she was saying, but if I was getting beaten up down the road, right, what would you do? I said, I'd go down there, I'd smash him up. Now then, would that be the white side or the dark side that was beating them up?
Yes.
So, hang on. Yeah. So, the devil's never been convicted in the court of law, but the white side using the dark side to do his dirty work.
Yeah.
So, she said, remember, it's a good thing if it's used for the right purpose.
Purpose.
But
Yeah.
remember, all the good things are hidden in the darkness. That's where the answers are.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like the dark web. If you want to know anything, you've got to go searching, haven't you?
Yeah.
And if you go searching, you'll find it.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's knowing
Yeah.
how to get it. That's the thing.
Yeah. And after I thought I'd figured it out, you've just made it a lot clearer. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just that example there, I never thought of relating it. Dark web, as in uncensored. If you want to find something, it's most likely going to be in the place where no one is restricting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've just that's just helped me massively. So thank you.
I was talking to a special agent not that long ago, and he come to me and he said, "I've got some questions for you." I said, "Okay." About what? He said, "This is not to do with anything particular. It's to do with the case that we're actually dealing with Masonic and all this." He said, we can't link this, and we don't know where to look, and we don't know what to do, so we're coming to you for some answers." You've got like special agents for everything in the world, and they come to a gypsy boy like me, you know. So, and I said, "Well, what's it about?" He said, "Well, we can't find out what the connection is between that button and that." I said, "That button," and you have to give me a minute to work this out. I said, "Because that button was the only thing that was holding it together." Yeah. Holding what together? You think about a coat, right? It's the button. When the button breaks, everything becomes open. He said, "So what's the button?" I said, "The button has got 4 holes in it." I said, "Now, what do you mean? The button's come off. There's 4 holes. So wherever this is, it's to do with 4 holes." And he said, "Just a minute. Could that be a garage?" I said, "What I'm seeing is a tyre hanging on the wall." "Really?" I said, "It's a tyre with some..." "It's not a tyre, it's a rim with pipe wrapped round it." Oh my Lord. We just cracked the case. I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I can't tell you, but the guy that you're talking about was killed with..." You know, if you think about an air gun, right? You remember the old pellets we used to have flights on?
Yeah.
You put it in an air gun and fire at a target, boom. Right.
Yeah.
So what they've done, they used the air gun to put something in, like a piece of metal, and it's gone straight through this guy.
Wow. Right.
Yeah. And the rim was held on with 4 rivets. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So I don't know why all that came out, but it was connected. It was connected. They thought it was a spear gun, but it just didn't connect up because there was no spear gun or anything. So but it was proved to be an accident. Proved to be an act of kids messing about.
But that's amazing, and it's also the symbolism as well, isn't it? It's like
gypsy folklore. It's making the link. You make a link. You make a link with a button. You make a link with a carpet. You make remote viewing is walking around somewhere. Making the link is totally different. You can remote view and then make a link with something there. So it's like a bound and a bound, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's going into that. And then when you're in it, you've got a cup on your right-hand side, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, because I can see it. I'm stood behind you now. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That just proves the point, doesn't it?
And
because your granddad's there as well.
Right.
Your granddad's there, and he's saying he's proud of you.
Right. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Can I say you're walking in his wellies, he says.
Right, yeah. They say stuff like that would make sense with him to say something like that.
There you go.
No,
There you
no,
go.
right, thank you. Yeah.
All right.
And I nearly didn't even have a drink before live, actually, because I just nearly didn't, and then I kind of just grabbed first thing that I could find, which was a wine glass to drink milkshake from, which is weird.
Well, there you go.
It just shows you. Yeah.
It shows, doesn't it?
Yeah. So thank you for that.
All right.
But yeah, all right. I mean, someone's just put Andrew Williams. You are amazing, both of you, Mickey and Carol. Can't wait for my next reading. Love you both.
Yeah.
So Kelly. Kelly says, I've had no one that's been able to read me.
Pardon?
Kelly Drews has put, I've had no one that's been able to read me.
No.
So
right. I've got a baby here with me. You can tell I've got a baby here with me and a lady. There's a gentleman stood behind her now. She seems to be sat a little further away from the door than she would normally sit, but I can see the door from where she is. And can I say, today's been a bit up and down.
So that's there for you, Kelly. And also, they can find you both at your profile, can't they?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're happy to come back at any time, anytime you feel
absolutely, yeah. So something I were going to ask as well is recently there's been a lot of energy coming from sun. There's been a lot of solar flares, things like that.
Yeah.
And it does affect Earth. And I was just thinking, I was just wondering if there's people out there, mediums, psychics, things like that, and I wonder if they feel any effect from that. It maybe not. I don't know. It's something I was wondering. That's all.
The solar flare obviously brings more vitamin D, and what it does, it heightens tension. It heightens the awareness as well. And you'll notice at the minute there are a lot of tensions in the world.
Right, yeah.
And when it dies down, everything will die down. At the minute, man is competing with each other because of the solar flares. It's got your game face on. All right?
Yeah.
And can I say it feeds the testosterone? Is what that's in my term. That's my gypsy way of looking at it. You know, it's like a bit of Dutch courage that we used to say when we were kids. And I feel at the minute people are looking at the world with hoping and praying, but everything will calm back down. Yeah. My dad always said to me, the next war after that will be fought with bows and arrows. They do. And I said to my mum, do you think there'll be another war? She said, the war after that will be God's war. She said. Yeah. And I said, do you think there'll be another war? She said, only if man's stupid enough and the devil rules the planet, she said. And that will never happen.
No.
What she said. I think now man's learning to live in peace, a lot more peaceful now than he has been. Nobody wants to roll the dice. Nobody.
No.
Because at the end of the day, the devil will rule the planet. And God won't allow that. That's a fact.
Yeah.
You believe what you want, but the devil will rule the planet and God will never allow that. Never. Yeah. The earth will end. Sorry, carry on.
No, it's all right. Make it go on. Carry on.
I get you what you're saying with that. Because when especially all them flares and energy, that it puts a pressure onto the planet, And I get you, and it probably and it seeps through. So and they were saying that frequency in Earth, it does change resonance at Earth and everything. So I get it. Yeah, definitely.
I just want to say, we're on an hour now. We can't carry on with things, but we can carry on Simply Spooky if you want to carry on for another 5-10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I'm all right. I'm all right, but Carol's got to walk home, so we went that 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're all right for 5 minutes. So,
Yeah.
has anyone got any questions or something?
Yeah. Well, there's a few things here. So Kelly's put, if I'm around other people, other like-minded people, it can enhance my abilities. So I mean, I suppose that's like being around people on the same wavelength, isn't it?
You're picking up their energies. Like being an energy vampire, really. They feed you.
Yeah.
You steal their energy. It's what spirit do. That's why the batteries go dumb when you're on paranormal. Because spirit take away your energy. And it's the same with people. They steal energy vampires. That's why you need to keep your energy locked in. And ask the angel to protect you. People, you can talk to people, and you feel like you just want to go lie down and go to sleep. They drain you.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been around people like that. Yeah.
I think we all have at some point.
Sorry, John. What were you saying?
No, I was just saying. Yeah, I get you with that. I mean, you can tell it can go from a really good mood and just go straight down. You know you've been it.
You can go from there to that guy.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Susan Harrison says, "I have more energy when it's sunny." I mean, I mean, it's been a sunnier day recently, and it cheers everything up, doesn't it? Because
it does. That's what I'm saying. It's a vitamin D.
Yeah.
It feeds you. It does. It feeds you.
Will Carol be doing paranormal nights again?
We're planning on doing something, Sharon, when you come up. We're going to plan to do something when you come up. Because Sharon Williams is my friend. We've known each other for a few years now. It's her daughter that's in spirit that was talking to me, Jasmine, when I was in a coma with the windmill.
Right. Okay.
She's a lovely woman. She came up and looked after me for a few weeks while I couldn't do anything for myself. She's a lovely woman.
Well, that's brilliant. Yeah. That's good. That is good.
Well, Carol looked after me for the first 3 weeks and she was exhausted. And, so Sharon lives in Basildon. She drove up, wouldn't take a penny from me. She drove up and spent 3 weeks or a month with me looking after me. Absolutely brilliant soul. Brilliant soul.
She's an angel. Yeah.
No, that's good.
So I can't thank her enough.
Yeah. And no, it is. It's a good thing, that. Definitely. Susan Harrison says she tries to see positive. She tries to get the positive out of a negative and turn it round. That's what we. Yeah, it's what we've always. You've always got to do it if you want to go forward.
The way my mum taught me to do that was to get a square in your kitchen or your front room, all right, and put some salt on it and stand on it. That drives out. If you know them little packets of salt you get from McDonald's. Put one in your pocket. Most women put them in the bra. You'll have nothing that will then go anywhere near you because darkness, negativity, you don't like salt. You've got to change it every 24 hours. I have one on me at all times.
Yeah, I do. My purses.
I do. I've not thought about that, but yeah.
If you go into your kitchen and put a square and put salt on it, all right, that is your sacred space. You put salt down and stand on it, and ask the Lord to bless it. Every time you get negativity or bad news, stand on it. It'll take it away.
Yeah,
but you've got to remember. You've got to remember that unless you ask the angel to intervene, you've got your own free will, and they can't unless you say, "Angels, please take it away." They can't.
Yeah, definitely.
So
ask them to.
So that's why whenever I get any negativity, I'll go and stand in the kitchen on my sacred square, and within minutes, it's either like you're not back to normal straight away, but you soon begin, because negativity can attach itself to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And it soon runs you down.
Yeah.
So
you've got to
get you down for weeks, can't it? It can really drag you.
Tell me about it. Yeah. So I don't know. Anyone else got any questions?
No, Kelly just likes to say, as long as she wakes up every day, that's all she needs, and whatever happens after that is a bonus. That's a great way. I mean, that's it. You just sometimes you've got to hit things with positivity and drive, and that's it. Best way.
Totally. Anyone got any more questions before we go?
No. I can't see any. So that's. I mean, thanks for everyone what's been in comments, and it's been great speaking to you, Mickey and Carol. It's been great.
If you want us back sometime, you know where we are.
Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Thank
definite.
you. Thank you very, very much.
Carol, as well. Are you going to come back on as well, Carol?
Yeah, I'll come back on. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, it's great. It's been great talking to you both.
Thank you very much.
People have enjoyed it as well. So yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Let's say bye to everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
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 Bye.